somebody. So what do? It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for a Major League Soccer club to get a player like Griezmann. You got to get him, I guess. But do you really need him? And at the expense of who? That is a question here.
Yeah, usually spending $11 million on a 33-year-old would be bad business. But I think in this moment, we could say this could potentially be very good business for LAFC. I'm looking at how they set up, Herc. It's kind of a 3-4-3 usually, right? So you got 3 spots up top because the 2 midfield roles, as far as I see, are more deep lying. They wouldn't really be the central roles ideal for Griezmann. So if we assume that Giroud is going into that front 3, you're not taking Bouanga out. I don't think you can take Bogusz out based on the stats. So if you can give me a guess, because it seems like you're struggling with this as well, where does he fit in there? What position does he play? Do they have to actually change their tactics, change their formation to figure out a way to get him on the field? And by the way, this is the team with, I know they're not first in the West, but on points per game right now, they are first in the West. So things are working right now for LAFC.
They're working. Listen, you got 3 center backs. You Eddie Segura, who slots into that midfield, and it can at times be a 4th or 3rd center back, one other Ocampos or Palencia, whoever goes by. It's a tactical little switch that Cherundolo does, but you got to switch formations. You're not going to have Ilie Sanchez come out, or are you? You know, is Ilie Sanchez going to be the guy you sacrifice for Griezmann? Because Griezmann, he's played all over the field. He's played all over the front line. We've seen him as an 8, even a double 6. I don't think he's got the defensive chops right now, or he's going to have the ability
the guts.
Well, no. Forget about the guts. The need to want to run around like that in that position. If you're coming to Major League Soccer, I don't think you're going to convince Antoine Griezmann to go run around and tackle somebody as a double 6. So what I'm trying to say is you definitely have to do something to accommodate a player of his unique ability. But I go back to what I was saying earlier. Do you really need him? And I think the answer is no. You may even disrupt what you have going on.
Herc, a couple weeks ago, I don't know if you remember this conversation while I was out in LA, I asked you, on behalf of my primo, of course, about a futures bet for LAFC to win MLS Cup, which at the time was around 8-1 or 9-1 payout. At that time, we knew Giroud was coming. And so I thought, man, that's a pretty good value for what to me is, for me, the best team in the West. Now they're going to potentially add Antoine Griezmann. They've already added Lewis O'Brien, who is not a big name, but people who watched DC United a couple years ago know that this is a very good player, certainly for MLS level. And then I look around at the rest of the Western Conference, Herc, and I don't really see who's going to compete with them out West. I know the LA Galaxy are now inching closer to a move for Marco Reus, which I think you could also say has some of the similar fingerprints of this. Like, do you really need it? Is it really a fit?
I
think Griezmann's going to have a way bigger impact, assuming both of these deals get done, than a Marco Reus. I think LAFC is way ahead of everybody in the West, and I include the Galaxy, who right now are above them in the table.
Yeah, well, games in hand, and the Galaxy have done extremely well, so they're doing something right, and they've been very savvy with what they do and who they bring in. I think Will Kuntz has done wonders, and Greg Vandy under him and the way they've rallied their troops, it's night and day of who the Galaxy was and who they are now. And I think Royce is a depth addition, a player who's got the ability to play that false 9 if need be, if Dejan is not there. So
you think anybody in the West can beat LAFC if they get Griezmann?
I think if there's one team that can beat LAFC regardless of who they have on the field, if there's one team who could beat LAFC regardless of who they have on the field, it's the Galaxy. And they've proven that because worse versions of the Galaxy have beaten LAFC in the past. So why am I going to bet against them now? I won't. That's the way this series is. It doesn't matter who's on top, who's at home. This series is as crazy as it gets, as entertaining as it gets, and I'm not certain I would want to pick a winner in either one of these.
LA Galaxy, LAFC, Western Conference Final. Herc, could you believe it?
We'll be there.
Who would not sign up for that? Yeah, Futbol Americas on the road. Well, for you, it wouldn't be much of a road trip out there in Los Angeles. All right, Tuesday, we got some soccer coming your way. 7 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN, ESPN Plus, and ESPN Deportes. It's Barcelona against Manchester City. Do not miss it.